Is that Cummins, is that 5.9 any good, or is that one of the ones people want to avoid?
I would think that's fine.
It looks like it's in pretty good shape.
Yeah, and that motor will be good for 10,000 hours, shouldn't it?
Oh, every bit of that, I would think.
Every bit of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Realize they had that kind of longevity.
That was a county up in Ohio, or not Ohio, up in Michigan. I remember what Dusty said that was. But they won't look at it. They upgraded, they got it on a rotation. And they called up there and talked to them, and they didn't really have anything negative to say about it.
Go to wax, a little buff, and it'll be great.
Yeah.
It looks like a Cadillac compared to ours.
Yeah.
Jeez. So, you know, we used ours quite a little bit, do some patching and some wedging, but it didn't last very long. We had to get parts, we had to fix it, and it's not going to last very long the way it is now. It's got a lot of other issues with it.
That's a gas engine too in that one, isn't it?
Ours? No,
Yeah.
it's diesel.
Oh, is that diesel? Okay. What kind of diesel do you know? I'm just curious if it was
I don't know if it's a Cummins or what. I'd have to ask Dusty.
that'd be an old mechanical fuel injector and everything.
Oh,
in
yeah.
that one.
The nice thing about that one, they're pre-emission,
Yeah.
you know, so there's not much to it.
What's the money timeline on this truck? We have to put money, we have to pay it up front?
Well, we won't pay any of it till it comes in. This will have to be encumbered over.
Do we want to consider latching onto that paver
I
before it goes away?
you know what? They're at 24.9. Who's to say they wouldn't take 20 grand for the thing? If they just want rid of it.
He's had it for sale for a while. The thing with the paver he's got, it's more of a road paver. It's not something that most of your smaller contractors want to do. They want to be able to do a smaller projects and things.
Yeah.
Well, and if we could maybe do a little more in-house
That's
paving with something like that.
especially for the small jobs or patch
Yeah.
jobs.
Yeah.
You know, if we're going to do 2 miles, we call API or Brooks, don't we? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
but
We got to do a quarter mile or something. you know.
yeah. I mean, because I really think I didn't think parts were available for this one. If parts are available, I think at 20 grand, I don't think you go wrong.
That's what I'm wondering.
And, you know, especially for what it costs new, and they probably maintained it well.
Sounds like they did.
I think we ought to make them a $20,000 offer on it and see what they say.
Always go back a
Yeah.
little more and just whatever we need to do to get it.
And our other one, we can put in the front and we'll put wax on it and coat it, make it look like we'll say, here's the paver that built DeKalb County. It's on its pension and retired.
We could use that as a mascot off the new highway department.
That's what I'm saying. It'll be our mascot.
You know, it's a cheap investment for something we'll utilize. I mean,
Yeah.
versus buying new. It'd be something to consider to use and see how we're always going to use it for wedging and patching. Then to venture out and see how the paving goes, and then if it's something that's working out well, we can always upgrade it later.
Why do you want to do that pad out there at the highway department for
Yes.
that sand and gravel or sand and salt mix
Yeah.
pad?
Yes, that's where our paver's at now. We went ahead and took it out there,
Yeah, I know it.
put it in a lean-to out there.
I seen it out there.
Did you?
Looks like a sick duck, sick turtle on its back. Looks like a turtle on its back.
Bashing my equipment. That's top of the line stuff out there.
First time I looked at that, I said, what is that doing in here? Take it to OmniSource.
That's all I got. Trying to make it work.
I'd entertain a motion for Ben to make an offer on that paver.
I'll move to go ahead and make that offer.
And I'll second, and I would suggest
that
20
thing.
grand. See what they say.
Grant. Any additional comments on that subject? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion carries.
Tell them we have a wrecked police car, we can do partial and trade if they want.
I got some stuff I could trade.
Yeah.
You know, with that, I did look on the website. I look at for municipal equipment. You pull up pavers on there, and they're all pretty well wore out looking
I
stuff.
would think.
I bet.
You know, that's something that's not like a car. People just get tired of it and want something new. I mean,
You take
when
wear
they
them
get
out.
when they get rid of them, they're normally
Wheels fall off, you get rid of them.
they're normally junk. If this guy does not budge on that price. Are you guys okay with the 24.9, or you want me to stick it to 20?
Stick to 20 for now,
Split the difference.
especially since they're listening to our negotiation.
Well, I highly doubt that. But they could be, but I won't say nothing about that.
I agree with Bill.
Hadn't thought of
At
it.
least split the difference and go 22,
All right,
20.
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
I agree.
22.5.
Ben, can you send me that information, please?
I'll text it to you,
That'd be fine.
because it's all,
Okay, so
this was a spur of the moment thing I didn't plan on.
let's go back to the tandem dump truck. So do you guys want to make a motion now that
I
once attorney reviews the whatever, that Ben can go ahead and
I
submit it?
believe they,
So moved.
Got it.
Second.
Motion and second. Are there any additional comments on the dump truck? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same. Motion carries.
yeah, because that stuff, I'll just have to, if we buy this, I'll incorporate more in it for next year. This truck won't be done till next year. Susan, I text that to you, so you got what I have on it at this
Okay.
point.
And you have papers on this dump truck thing?
No, I ain't done nothing on it yet. I got to quote it and bid it yet. That's why I needed to get with Andrew on. But when
Okay.
it goes out to quote or bid, I will send you a copy of that.
Okay.
The only other thing I had on here is that the guys are working today down at the shop pulling out some old equipment. We've got, I might throw a paper on there now, if I can get this one bought. Got a 2000, I believe it's a 2000 F-250 pickup. We've got the old New Holland skid steer. We've got the pull behind broom.
We still have that then.
I've been waiting on the controls to get pulled out of the other truck.
Okay.
So the controls just now got pulled out.
Holland broom, right? Or the-
And then there's a orange flatbed mount sander to put in on that. We don't need. And I think that was it. I'd like the permission to go ahead and list that on Gov Deals. I mean, we talked about it before, but I
Yeah.
want to make sure we're good to go. I'll get that on there. And then you asked me about putting a surveyor's
Four-wheeler.
four-wheeler on there. I can
Put
do
that on there
that.
too, yeah.
I can do that as well.
Yeah.
And, ours, I'm just gonna, they've got a kind of a neat deal on there now. They set up, I don't necessarily have to put a reserve on any of it, but once it bids, I gotta prove the winning bid, or we don't have to sell it.
You can reject it.
So I've been using that option, especially on some of ours that don't bring nothing. If I can get more for scrap, I'll scrap it. Obviously, the truck and the skid steer is worth a little bit more than scrap price, so I wouldn't do
Right.
that. But the other ones I would consider just scrapping.
Where are you listing these at?
Govdeals.com.
We sold a couple of the old dump trucks, old real bad
Yeah.
ones on there, didn't we?
They was 90s models, late
Yeah.
90s, and they brought
That's pretty decent.
$8,500 a piece.
Yeah,
That's probably worth $5.
yeah.
I think we was offered, it was crazy, like $1,500 trade for them.
Yeah.
I mean, they ran, they drove, but it was rough. It was rough. So, they're pulling that stuff out today, and they cleaned it up last week, so I can get pictures of them and
Great.
list them.
Yeah. Motion?
I'd make motion to allow Ben to list the 2000 F-150, the Holland skid steer, the broom and sander, and the four-wheeler for the surveyor's office on Gov Deals.
I will certainly second that.
You can just truncate that to list.
Okay, motion and a second on the floor.
Susan's going, please stop talking.
You're right.
Any additional comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same. Motion carries. Sell 'em.
Okay. That's all I had as far as business for the highway. Other than out there at the new location, the fence is getting all installed. They've got pretty much all the fence up except for the gates at this point. So that is all installed. Believe all, it looks like all the gravel's done, except right around the pole barn. That's got to be finished yet. because of stuff they had out there. The water still has not been turned on yet. I tried working with Waterloo into last week for that. Unless they turn it on, I don't know about it. But that should be turned on. It's ready to be turned on. It passed bacteria inspections. It passed pressure test. We've got approvals for that. It was sent to Waterloo. I did reach out to them last week, and there's supposed to be some connection fees and things that we're gonna have to pay. And I asked for that to be sent, and nobody really knew what it was, and so I haven't received anything on that yet. So when I do, I will let Susan know that. We'll have to get that paid, I'm sure. Hopefully they would go ahead and turn it on and then bill us later. I mean, we're gonna pay it, but
They was out there, what day was I out there? Wednesday,
I think he was out there Thursday.
Thursday, yeah. The truck was there. The truck was there, parked right there by the fire hydrant.
So maybe they did get it turned on,
So
but
maybe it's on, 'cause they was out there.
I spoke to them, I believe Wednesday.
Yeah, it was there Thursday.
Okay, well,
Hopefully it's
maybe,
on.
maybe it did and they didn't get back with me. I'll try to follow up with that here today or tomorrow and see where they're at. Pranger's still got a lot to do inside, and so does Weller. We've got a meeting this week. The steel was supposed to went on the pole barn a week ago. I don't know where they're at with that for sure. Find out.
Been windy.
Yeah,
I don't look for much to happen there until the wind dies down.
is the way you have to handle those big pieces.
yeah.
In the wind, probably a real nightmare, huh?
Oh, they're dangerous.
Yeah,
With the wind we've had, yes.
it cut you, that could really,
Yeah.
what size steel is that? What gauge is that? Is that like a 24 gauge steel, or
26.
26, I think.
is it?
Yeah.
That's standard.
Is it?
But I don't know if that's any heavier or not.
Are the roofs heavier? Really? They're just 26, huh?
That's,
Yeah, 'cause
that's
they've got-
adequate.
Their nailers are 2-foot centers, 2x4 is flat.
Oh, are they? I know when we did our house with the metal roof, they used 24 gauge. They said was an
I did,
upgrade
well,
from regular.
you know, I'm not gonna say for sure.
I don't know for sure.
Just the
I
roof,
don't-
though.
haven't
I
seen
didn't know
the
if the roof's
specs.
different or
Yeah.
hail, taking hail.
We had a,
We had some conversation about that way back in the early stages.
what was it?
Yeah,
What they just,
I think it's all 26.
Is it?
I believe, yeah.
that'd
It
be,
probably is.
yeah, that'd be pretty standard.
Have you walked the catwalks in the shop since they installed those safety gates on the end?
No.
Those things are dangerous. Ben told me the gates weren't on them when he first saw it. You walk up this steep steps, and those steps
Yeah.
are steep.
Yeah.
They have these gates that you have to push open now when you get to the top, but they're spring loaded and they come back at you. Well, I was getting off the catwalk, opened the gate, put my hand on the thing to walk down. The gate shut on my pocket, grabbed my pocket, and about threw me off the back of it. And I don't think those things should be there. I don't know if that's a code that they have to be there, but
Probably
they're
is.
dangerous.
Uncle Sam protecting us.
Yeah,
The gate
I mean-
locks you off.
No, I get why you'd want a railing up there, but
Yeah. Gotta have a railing.
I don't have a gate at the top of the steps of my house. I mean, I don't. Just seems odd. That,
Only for the babies.
yeah, for the baby. Well, yeah, we'll put a baby lock on it for you.
The only thing maybe we could look into is maybe take the spring assist off, where you have to physically close it.
That would be a good idea because, like I said, when you're you have to open it standing forward and then back out. And as you're backing out, you about got to put a hand on the thing because it closes on you. And it just, I can see
Yeah,
someone.
we can modify that if we
Yeah.
have to.
After the,
I know how I'd modify it if it was me, but
Let's pass
after you get an
some
OC or yeah.
checks here first.
We had a conversation about a vapor barrier on the ceiling, on the roof of that pole barn last week, and we tossed some options around. Did you get a reply back on that fan fold?
That sounds like what we're gonna go with,
Is that,
yes. Greg Marks responded, thought it was a good idea. Brad has not responded. I sent him the same information I sent you, and sounds like that was fine.
okay.
Why would you want to a vapor barrier in an unheated pole barn?
Underneath the steel on the roof so it doesn't sweat.
Does that keep it from sweating?
Yeah.
Does it? Okay. Well, that would be a good idea then.
Yeah, they'll condensate and drip,
Yeah.
eventually start deteriorating your wooden runners up
Oh,
there.
yeah,
We
okay.
discussed a membrane, we discussed bubble wrap, we discussed, there was another 3-inch insulation product that was gonna be quite a lot more money, $9,000. With the fan folds, what, 2,400? I thought,
I believe so.
For the whole building?
yeah, for the whole
It's just
roof.
a 1/4 inch, 4 foot wide, 1/4 inch, just that pink foam board, you just unfold it,
Oh,
put it underneath the steel.
And
I'm really-
had to keep from sweating and dripping.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Only make a
especially with
big
that
difference.
gravel floor, they will sweat. Moisture
Okay.
will go up.
Yeah, I would be for that, for
Yeah,
sure.
that steel will look like it rained in there.
Really?
Big bubbles.
You know, come to think of it, the hangars out at the airport, the old ones that don't have any insulation or that way, when it gets humid out, it's solid
Yeah.
in there.
I'm really kind of surprised with the way everything else was engineered out there. That wasn't figured in there. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised, but
Everything else is gold plated.
everything, typically, anything that's,
Yeah.
anything that's enclosed, you'll want a vapor barrier up there, typically. Now, a lean-to wouldn't be no big deal, because weather's gonna get in there anyway.
Yeah, it's gonna get in there anyway. That's an enclosed building.
Another thing they gotta do out there, the fuel pumps. They're both on the same side of the island.
I saw that. I said, can only fuel one at a time this way. Maybe
Yeah.
two if
The
you're
other
standing.
side's useless,
Yeah,
because it won't reach.
yeah.
So they're gonna move the west one's gonna get moved over. So they can pull under their driver's side, right at the pump, the entire truck underneath the canopy.
Right.
So it's not snowing in on their load and whatever else, but yeah. And
They didn't, that wasn't the plan anyway. They're supposed, for the plan, they're supposed to end the center on each end. They're not even center of each end.
I saw that. I thought, that doesn't make sense, but
no. Anyway, we're still after them. They're done
It's-
right.
We're progressing.
Yeah.
I mean, things are happening and moving. We did get our semi-trailers moved out there last week, got placed. So we're working on stuff now. If they got the fence up, we can get the final grade set around there, then start setting our stuff and moving some things.
Yep.
good.
Anything else, Ben?
That's all I have for you guys today,
Okay.
unless you have anything else for me.
Anything else for Ben?
Nothing here.
All righty.
Is Brad still sending out calendar invites?
Is who?
Uh,
Brad? I don't know.
'Cause I haven't been getting any.
They sent them all out earlier, like first year. Okay, I can check on that.
Yeah, right.
Thursday.
Okay, gentlemen. Have a good week, Ben.
Yep.
Catch you Thursday, if not before.
Okay.
Payroll bi-weekly. Motion to approve payroll.
Sure. I'll
Yep.
move to approve that.
Second.
And motion second, approve payroll. Any additional comments?
That's right.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same. Payroll is approved. Did you get a chance to go to the claims?
Yep.
Good?
Yep, I'm good.
All good claims.
I'll make a motion to approve claims.
Pay the bills, huh?
And I'll second.
A motion and a second to approve claims and additional comments. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same. Claims are approved. Minutes. Did we get? I did not see the minutes.
Of course not. Probably not.
Well, think of it, I didn't see the minutes either.
Well, let me look and see what unzipped in that file.
I didn't even think about it when I was going through that.
Yeah, they were in the miscellaneous.
All I saw was the agenda.
I just emailed them to you.
Want to hold off on the minutes?
Yeah, I'd like to read.
Okay. We are really getting close to Chris. Chris, you might as well come on up and get you in and get you out, get you back to work.
All right, guys.
Morning, Chris.
Morning, Chris.
Good morning, sir.
Morning. I have a contract for Schneider Geospatial. It's our Beacon online GIS. It's just an add-on that we're wanting to do, paid for through IT's budget. It's already budgeted in there for it, just the contract. This is for the oblique imagery, so instead of just top-down aerials, it's actually skewed a little bit. I'm going to say the word 3D, but it's not 3D. You can look at different sides of property. So you're not just seeing the top down, so the roofs. You'll actually be able to see windows, doors, landscaping, anything like that.
How do they do that? Do they shoot from different angles and then
Yep.
meld them together?
And then piece it all together.
Wow.
It took them this year, last year when we just did the aerials, or not last year, 3 years ago, it took them about 3 months to piece together our aerials, and then they go through and make sure it's all lined up correctly and things. This
Amazing.
time with the oblique, it took them almost another additional 6 months. So it takes them a long time to get it all pieced together, but it's a cool service. It's something that we decided when we did the contract for Eagle View to do our flyovers, that we would do the oblique imagery. Really helpful for assessor's office. They say though, once you do the aerial, they're old because, so obviously they're not brand new aerials, but it helps them with assessments, and then it also helps police, fire for where they can spot windows, doors, exits, and that sort of thing. So it's helpful for them. But this would be put up on Beacon, so really anybody can take a look. You obviously can't view in people's windows that close, seeing Susan in there. But sitting in her recliner, right?
Right.
But it's a cool service. So it's a one-time setup cost of $1,100. There was a discount of $200, and then an annual hosting fee of about $1,500. And then next year, we put it in the budget. IT will put it in their budget for additional $1,500 to do the hosting. So
1,500 a year, 1,100 set up minus 2.
correct. Well, no, it was 1,300 originally minus 200.
Minus 200.
Yep. So it's 1,100 for that one time.
2,600
cost.
the first year.
Yep. I sent this on to Andrew before he left for vacation. He didn't have any problems with the contract. Susan can attest to that. I copied her to make sure she got it in your packet. So
I agree.
Well, what do you think?
I like Beacon, and I think
Yeah.
the added service is probably useful.
For the money?
That'd be useful for like the assessor if they, hey, wait, that room wasn't on there and that window wasn't there.
Yeah.
I'd make a motion to approve the
thank you.
Beacon add-on service.
Second.
A motion and a second on the floor. Are there any additional comments? Yes, sir.
Larry Williams, 2418 Woodland Trail, Auburn. Hey, I'm not concerned about the cost or anything. How accurate are those property lines on Beacon? Let me give you an example. I was looking at my own property line last night, and I know where my surveyor's stake is, and the line is like maybe 20 or 30 foot further to the east of what I would consider.
20 to 30 feet?
Probably about 20.
Really?
I guess, yeah, what I would consider my property line.
So that may be an issue with the legal description being drawn in wrong. Typically, you're going to see 3 to 4 feet off.
Yeah.
But 20 to 30 feet seems awfully skewed.
I'm going to call it 20 because there are trees that are for 30 years considered to be the neighbor's trees that
Okay.
show up on my property.
Yeah, we may need to look at your legal description then
Yeah,
and see
there's
if
more
it's,
than-
any of that's drawn in wrong.
There's other questions that have come up in the neighborhood.
Huh.
So I want to make sure.
I mean, it's as accurate as a 3D Earth can be to 2D,
Right.
drawing. But yeah, if you want to send us your legal description from your deed, or we can find it too.
Sure.
But I'll even have GIS just take a look at the whole Woodland Trail if you think some of those neighbors' properties are wrong too.
I think we should.
Okay.
Yeah, there are other questions popping up now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can take a look at that.
Okay, thanks. That's it.
Yeah, I've noticed they've been off before by, like you said, 2 or 3, and
Yeah.
a lot of it is just almost like parallax there, you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
The line gets drawn at this angle where but 20
I've never
30
heard
foot-
20 or 30 feet, except for when legal descriptions are just
Yeah, and that moves the line.
drawn in there wrong. And back when, how old is Woodland Trail?
About 30 years.
So it was probably drawn in,
1992, 1993.
yeah, but even, it was probably digitized via the old Sidwell maps versus actually drawing it in via the legal description. So who knows? We'll take a look at it and see what we can find though.
Thank you.
I'll let you know. I know where to find you to get you some answers.
Okay.
Susan, do you have this printed or you want me to, or do you already have? Okay, perfect, thank you. Awesome.
So we got to vote yet, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other comments before we vote? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Hey,
Aye, opposed, the same. It carries.
Thank you, gentlemen.
You bet.
we have oblique imagery now.
Appreciate it. And I'm off starting tomorrow, going to
Uh-oh.
Naples,
Oh, man.
your neck of the woods.
You're lucky.
So if you need
I'm going with you.
Naples, that's where all the rich people go.
Yeah.
I'm in the poor section. I said, that's where rich people go to Naples. I'm in the poor section. So.
I'm not paying for it.
We'll see ya.
Well, we got a lot of time. We'll jump into miscellaneous topics.
I've read the
Did you do minutes?
I read the minutes. If you want to
Oh, yeah, we
read
can do
them while I was
minutes.
talking, yeah, I'd make a motion to approve minutes from last week or 2 weeks ago.
Okay, motion is second to approve minutes. Additional comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed, same. Minutes are approved. Now we can go to miscellaneous topics. Electric service agreement between the city of Auburn and DeKalb County.
So I had sent everything that we received from the city. Andrew had been working with Zach, and he approved all the language of the documents. So we would have the agreement, the electric service improvement agreement to sign, and then there is a document for customer responsibilities and info page that was inside the Excel sheet that we would need your signature. And that says that you understand your responsibility for restorations, private utilities, and obstructions.
This is the document, electric service improvement
Yes,
between City of Auburn and DeKalb.
yes.
There's those whereas and therefores again. We just write these without whereas every time. Yeah, I'm good with it. We discussed this in our
Yeah,
discussions before about,
yep. And they've been being pretty generous.
yeah, I think they're being real fair with us.
Yeah, absolutely. So, was that I'm okay with an emotion or?
Yeah. I'd make a motion, we
approve and
sign the electric service agreement between City of Auburn and DeKalb County.
And I will second.
A motion and a second on the floor. Are there any additional comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same. Motion carries.
So that is for all three of you, and this would be you. you.
Okay. Discussion of the memorial resolution.
So, Andrew had sent the draft of the memorial resolution from Mr. Hillebrand. It looks like there's a couple places to fill in dates. I didn't know if you guys had read it, if you were okay with it.
I have not read it. Where did that come about a week ago, though? When was that sent? Did you send it by email? Or how?
Andrew would have, but I had it in your miscellaneous packet.
I did not get anything from Andrew. Got it right
I
now.
didn't either.
I know there was discussion of doing it. I didn't know there was anything written
Yeah, he sent he sent the resolution that he had written.
Yeah, I think Rachel pulled the
Oh, here's
last
the-
couple that we did and just copied it.
yet. Yeah, here it is. It's a template. He said, here's a template you can go by, and that's, okay,
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was actually filled out.
I don't know. I wouldn't know what the courts, where they left the blanks.
Yeah. So they want days filled in. Oh, I see judges. Yeah. Suppose we should talk to the judges about filling in the correct names there, correct?
I can ask him.
I think that'd be the thing to do, get it right, you know. So basically, we just need to know what judges' names to put in the date, correct?
So if you want, you guys meet on April 8th and the council meets on the 10th. That we could do those two meetings to finalize it.
Yeah. I think we should give them this, the council, and say, hey, we're gonna be doing this.
Yeah,
We should
once I
just-
fill it in, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what we should do.
Have we
Alright.
done this before for non-elected officials?
Yeah, I believe so.
We have. Because I wanted,
I'll
I
have
do
to look.
one for Bill Waters.
I'm not positive. I'd have to go back and look.
I don't
Thought we
remember
did
doing
too,
it.
but I don't
But that
remember.
doesn't mean we didn't do it.
No, we did Don Kaufman.
Of course, he was elected.
Right,
Yeah.
And,
We generally do elected officials.
yeah. And Janet Ordway was also elected. And those were the last two we did.
Yeah.
Did you say Don Kaufman?
Don Kaufman and
Yeah.
Janet Ordway were the last two we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the protocol, like what was decided when, on who. It looks like, how about Kenneth Metzger?
I don't know.
I see we did
Ken Metzger.
this one we did, it says it was a proclamation honoring the
Oh,
public
well.
service of him.
Yeah, that was when we named the park out on the north side for Ken, because Ken is still very much alive and well.
I was gonna say, I think Metzger Park is him,
Yeah.
he's still
Yeah.
around. Let's
Yeah.
not
So
bring an
I'm-
early demise to the gentleman.
Yeah,
so-
I'm pretty sure that was all about his work with the Alvin Marley trails and
Right.
park.
I don't have a
Yeah.
problem doing it for an unelected. I mean, if he served the county, it's. Who pushed this forward to start with? Whose idea was this originally?
Lita.
Rita sent it.
Lita sent it to Andrew.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
I'm kind of wondering, I mean,
Well, maybe we should ask council and say, hey, we've only done this for usually for elected officials. Do you want to do it for?
yeah,
See what
I'm
they
just
say.
wondering, where do you draw the line? I mean, if somebody works 10 years and quits, do you write them
How about,
something? I don't know. I don't want to
Sure.
get water on the party or anything.
in
but-
2016, there was one done for Wilma Wilhelm? Wasn't she, no, that was a different. Let me look.
What did Wilma do?
I'm looking, I was
the
thinking,
For the Wilhelm name, but I believe I ever met her.
she was, oh, yeah. She served citizens of DeKalb County beginning in 1938. Oh, she was a clerk stenographer for the welfare department. Later was clerk and first deputy in the auditor's office and then eventually elected as auditor from 1983 to 86. So she was elected.
So maybe, I think you're right, Bill. I think we ought to talk to council and say, hey, just so we don't open a
Yeah,
worms of, but
I think so too.
I think get there, 'cause they have a lot to do with I mean, they're the
Yeah.
employee end of the here, so as far as wages go and policy.
It looks like in 2016, there was also a proclamation, a resolution proclamation honoring Jim Pepple. He was not elected. He served on the BZA for 42 years.
Pepple, is he the gentleman that lived on 7th Street here, or 7th and McClellan?
I think he lived behind the high school. I can't remember what
Oh,
road
really?
that
Okay.
was. The 32 maybe. It's the road that curves by the 69th and then goes up to
Oh.
Auburn Ashley Road.
Yeah, 20.
Whatever that
Yeah.
that's where he most recently lived.
Okay.
Because he was always a farmer.
Oh, he was? It's different Pepple.
Uh-huh.
There's no downside to honoring somebody who had long service with
Oh,
the
yeah.
county, whether they were elected or not.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody,
I just think it'd be good to get
Yeah,
councils, just say, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good idea, or get their opinion. But yeah, I don't.
well, yeah, they have to pass a resolution too, so
Yeah.
obviously we want to get a consensus from them, but I
I'll
don't see
touch
any
base.
downside whether elected or not elected.
How about I touch
Yeah, I
base
agree.
with Dave Yard and
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's the thing to do. Just get them
You can-
involved.
and then we'll
yeah,
go from there.
let's do that. Because they may have a different idea.
Right. Yeah.
We'll all be on the same page if we're going to do it one way or the other.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. All right. Still the four-wheeler, we kind of took care of that.
Yeah, Ben's gonna list that. It's a
Yeah.
little Honda four-wheeler, Mike. It's a ATV.
That wasn't a side-by-side, that was a four-wheeler.
Yeah, it's just a four-wheeler. It's a
Yeah.
350 Honda.
Been
It's,
set for a long.
it's in good shape.
Yeah.
It'll sell. It's gonna bring good money. It will.
Yeah, we found that out.
We found that out right away, didn't we?
Once we got
We
a
had a little
second-
mini bid going
once we
to
got a
start,
second
but-
bidder on it.
Ben's like, hey, wait, this bring enough money. We better put it on Cub bids.
Well, from what, 700, 750 to 17?
16.
16.
Yeah, so I think it's gonna bring a couple grand at least. So,
Great.
yeah,
We can use it.
yeah. So that's taken care of.
Letter of appreciation for Pranger Enterprise.
I thought maybe that was for me. I think we should definitely I
Did you read
I didn't see
the
it.
tip?
When I get these emails
What
from you
am I
that
gonna do
are,
with you guys?
these zip
Mine is
emails do
blank.
not come through on my phone.
It is?
I've got the letterhead and a signature line, but in just a white box in the middle.
That's what mine is.
Yeah.
What in the world?
Something happens when you zip them. They don't all unzip for some reason. I don't know what it is. Is there a special unzip program we need? Maybe
There's just when you pull up a zip file, there's a thing at the top that says extract all, and you have to do that.
Yeah, I
And
did.
Extract them, but other than that, there's nothing.
I didn't know if there's a special unzipping program though.
No, it's built into Windows.
Okay.
I priced these showers when in Home Depot. One that looks like that, I don't know if it's the same quality or not, $19.99 for
$2
each.
grand.
$2,000
How many did they put in for us? Two? $4 grand just in,
just the
at
showers.
least, just in those parts. That's very nice what they did.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, plus the fixtures, plus the plumbing, plus the labor.
Yeah.
I think Frank installed the showers, they plumbed them up.
They're doing a good job out at Highway too. I was talking to one of their plumbers out there. Okay.
New email from
That
Susan
worked.
Sleeper. There it is. Very nice letter.
That's pretty short and sweet.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd approve this.
And I'll second the approval.
There you are.
Motion.
There you are. I make a motion that accept this letter. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
very good of
motion
them.
and a second, comments? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same, motion carries. Okay,
Hot second.
everybody's a winner on that one.
Yeah, that was sure nice of them. By the way, did you see that our floor heat boiler in the shop, in the new shop at the highway department? The boiler
Yeah.
thing's about the size of a dehumidifier.
Yeah.
I said, "What is that? Like 5 BTU?" He says, "No, it's like 100,000." I said, "Oh,
Oh,
my
yeah.
gosh, it's just done." Yeah. And then they he was telling me they had to put special food grade glycol alcohol in it in case it leaks so no one drinks it and gets hurt. And I said,
Yeah, it's environmental friendly, basic.
but come on.
That's what they do in closed loops, same.
Really?
Yeah,
I said, go to AutoZone and just pour some glycol thing, get it going.
I don't think it's really expensive. I
What's
thought.
that? Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's more water than the glycol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like 1 to 3 or so.
Oh, really? So it's maybe only good to like 0 or.
Yeah, I said you don't have to go way down like you do in a car, and it's not very likely it ever freeze.
No.
It take extended cold period with no heat, freeze that floor, but you don't want it freezing.
No, no.
And when I was out there Thursday, they had all this copper. I mean, it looks like a work of art.
I know, that's what I said. It's amazing, isn't it?
It's copper, and it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's just perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, we can sign this and send it on.
Yeah, our water heater is 5 times the size of our boiler.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the water heater's the size of a car.
It's 100 gallon.
I know, it looks like
Yeah,
300.
that bottle is not as big as that pedestal.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's amazing. I
Sure.
can't believe it does that. I guess it makes sense, though. Look at a gas-fired furnace. It's not very big, 100,000 BTU.
Well, and it's an oversized tankless water heater.
That's what it is,
That's
yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
Hey, Susan. And you see, you know how big they are.
Yeah, it's true. Pretty neat, though.
Yeah, pretty neat.
That's gonna be great heat for that floor.
Yeah. That'll save us money in the long run.
Yeah. Yep.
Very efficient.
Plus it keeps the floor dry.
Or dry. You can run that building, that shop, probably 5-10 degrees cooler.
I've always said with a heated floor, really about 55 to 60 degrees, right in that range is perfect. Instead of running forced air at 65, 62 to 65, I think it'll save us thousands.
It's a long-term
I
payback.
think you'll save 500 to 1,000 every month in the cold season.
Could be, yeah. Could be.
Anyway,
Anyway, what else we got? That's into my list.
can't think of anything, to be honest with you.
Nothing else?
No, who we got up next?
Michelle's in at 9:30.
Michelle, yeah. MOU.
Anything from the public?
Tell you what, I'm gonna talk about this
Okay.
next time, but maybe. So I've had some concerns and lost a little sleep over this recent letter from the ACLU and that hubbub being on their radar is not exactly a pleasant place to be.
Which one, Mike?
The-
Who being on the radar?
The ACLU.
Oh, for the guy
From-
that's suing us?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So I talked to the sheriff a little while back, met with he and Ken, who's his maintenance guy, about what needs to be done at the current jail, because we're, as we've talked about before, more than several years out on any new jail construction. So I think it might be wise to consider making the current facility as complaint resistant as possible, I guess is a good way to put that. So the sheriff was kind enough to put a list of things together, which Jody's making copies of for everybody. But there are several things that he identified, and he and Ken looked at everything pretty extensively, it looks like. That, in his opinion, would pretty well mitigate any potential for any of the same stuff we've been dealing with on this ACLU letter. So my suggestion was maybe we have some conversation about trying to find a way to make these things happen on a fairly immediate basis. I think it just helps take some liability concerns out of the picture. You know, whether we need to make another shift around on ARPA funds or something, I think we're not something we really want to take out of the general funds or use split money for. And this also includes the chiller, which we'd already talked about. But these are the things that the sheriff and his maintenance chief think would put the current facility in as good a shape as we
Very
could
good
put it in.
standing.
So it's about $500,000, but like, again, we'd already talked to them about the
Chiller.
225 for the chiller, so we're
316, 388 would be what you haven't.
right,
What, 316 what is?
316.
316, 388
If you
out
back-
of this 541 is what hasn't been discussed and agreed
Oh.
on.
If you back the chiller out.
Yeah, back
Yeah.
to chiller out.
So, I mean, you know, it kind of sprung this today. I was like, I was going to talk about it at the next meeting, but since we got time today, this maybe gives everybody some time to look it over and think about it. But it looks to me like, and after the conversation with the sheriff, I think this addresses most of the issues that we may get dinged on.
Yeah.
And
How much did we just put into that elevator?
it's on this, well, it's on this sheet here, 119,438. He gave me a list of the things that had already been accomplished. So, yeah, 119 was,
On the generator, we'd want to buy a generator that would run, it'd be oversized for this one, and then we'd want to move it if we were going to do that.
Have you looked at that generator? The backup's not there, but they've not put a pump that I can see on that tank.
From the fuel tank to there,
Yeah.
I think they did.
Oh, did
That's
they?
how they got it working, yeah. I went and looked at it.
Oh, did you look at it?
Yeah, they had me come look at it, and what's odd is, if they would have just elevated the tank, you wouldn't have needed a pump.
Right.
It'd just be gravity flow. But that pump brings it to the unit, and then the unit has a fuel pump that runs the motor. But yeah, they did replace it, and I finally said, yeah, just go ahead and do it, because I was thinking, man, let's just bring a backhoe here, lift this tank up, and eliminate the pump, and then, no. But the generator is definitely old, but if we're gonna replace it, you want to, whatever the spec's gonna be for the new jail, just buy it for here. And I know it's gonna be another 50 or 75 grand, because it's gonna be.
But still, it
But
will
then you
never
put
wear
it
it
on a
out.
skid and move it when
Yeah.
you're,
We will not wear it out over here.
no,
So move
that'd
it to the
be,
new jail.
because the generator is a problem. It's like, when I talk to him, he says, hey, when this goes down, we have to have power.
Oh, yeah.
We can't, you know, the chiller, everything runs off of that.
Everything. Okay.
I would definitely entertain this, though, because we do need to keep the jail functional.
yeah.
And I'm not as worried about the ACLU as I am just having stuff right. Stuff needs to be right. I mean, that's a benefit, is the ACLU is not,
Yeah.
but they're not scaring me. But if doors aren't closing properly, they need fixed. If toilets aren't
Yeah.
working, they need
Yeah,
fixed.
exactly. Because, I mean, there's some potential liability if you got a block shut
Oh,
down
yeah.
because the toilets are plugged, moving people around.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
And I know these doors and so forth, there's been some fingers pinched
Yeah.
Yeah.
and so forth.
Okay. Well, we want to take 2 weeks to,
I think we
Think
should
it's over.
review this and then
Yeah.
vote on it.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I would be definitely in favor of
Okay.
keeping this building working.
all right.
And Jody's making some more copies. I meant to do that in the
Oh,
first
okay.
round there.
Okay.
The sheriff had done kind of a 5-year projection on major expenditures, including vehicles and stuff, just for informational purposes too. So we can all take a look at that.
Okay. Michelle, you are up. You want to come have a seat?
Yeah, let's sit. Let's just sit. Please.
Make sure your mic's on there, Michelle, please.
Put your mic up and
Yeah,
there you
Thank you,
go.
Jody.
Thank you.
Good morning. How are you doing? First off,
Oh, doing well.
okay. Yeah.
So I was hoping to talk about a couple things this morning, but I didn't get a response back from one of the folks that I needed a new contract from, but I'll kind of, I guess, just fill you in on that after we talk about change, just so you know what's going on. So the change MOU, I think you guys talked about 2 weeks ago, but I wasn't here. And I know there were some questions, and then we did cover it at the council meeting. I think if I understood correctly, 2 weeks ago when I wasn't here, the question was about the 2 additional seats that we had for Hamilton, but now the superintendent that decided to join Change last fall has now left for another position, and there was an interim superintendent who decided that since they never used the seats, he did not want to be part of the Change MOU any longer. And my understanding is that same individual has now, well, I shouldn't say for sure, I believe he's been voted in as the permanent superintendent in Hamilton now. So basically what we're doing and why we had to suddenly change the budget is we had added, the program had been 24 seats for the 3 larger school districts. We added 2 seats to make it 26 for Hamilton last fall. So all we're really doing is we're removing those 2 extra seats, taking it back down to the original 24. The MOU that is presented for you and the budget actually reflects almost a $500 per seat increase for the 3 larger school districts. That's something that we worked out with them because from what we could tell, the price per seat at Change had not been increased since about maybe the beginning of the program from what we can tell. So that would have been about 2012. And they understood that obviously cost of things go up and everything's costing us more and all that. So they have already taken those figures back to their school boards, gotten it approved, and you can see that there are 3 signatures already on the MOU. So does that answer the questions that you guys had?
Sense to me.
Okay. And then I think, I'm not sure because I was no longer here, but I think that Susan talked with Ms. Talley after the council meeting and everyone is understanding of how we worked out changing the budget to accommodate everything.
Yeah, so the financial part is all worked out through with the council, so we're all on board with that. The council just wouldn't sign it until they knew that you guys had approved and agreed to the agreement.
Okay.
Right.
Good with this?
Yeah, well, you want a motion to approve the MOU, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
So
sir.
moved.
Seconded.
Okay, motion and a second on the floor. Are there any additional comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion carries.
The next thing that I wanted to bring up, and I'm just gonna go over it real quick, just so you guys have an idea of what you'll be looking at if I ever do get the actual contract back. We had a 3-year contract with a company called Innovative Control Systems for the HVAC software, controls, and partial inspections of some of the system out there. That is due for renewal. And when we got quotes from them, it had increased quite a bit. I'm told that that is kind of across the board for any kind of software and mechanical contracts recently. Prices have increased a lot. But part of our problem was when we went back and looked, we couldn't find any, reports or proof that they had come out and done the inspections as they were supposed to. So that started a lot of conversations between us and the company, me asking for copies of the reports and proof that they had come and them not being able to provide it because it turns out they didn't. So
Holy.
we had one for last year when they came to kind of train myself and Mr. Ford, the residential director, in how to work the software system. And that was the only one that we had proof they had ever completed. I had emailed with Andrew. I wish he was here so he could tell you a little bit, but I kind of asked him, before we entertain going into another 3-year contract with them, should we ask for refund? Should we ask for what? Could you help me write like an attorney letter to let them know that we understand they did not fulfill their part of the contract? He said he was willing to do that, but he wanted to bring it back to you all for some questions. So just because I wanted to be able to move forward with it. I wrote them an email saying, we might be writing you an attorney letter about how you didn't fulfill your contract, and then that prompted them to give us new quotes and want to come over right away and complete the 3rd year inspection and all the stuff. So Andrew advised me to go ahead and let them do the 3rd year inspection if they were willing to. So they did come over a couple weeks ago and complete that. They sent a partial owner of the company with the technician. So I bargained with him some more and got a new quote for what we're looking at. One of the other things that happened was Larry had kind of hooked us up with a company that he likes to use for HVAC. I believe Felger Hart is the name of it.
Larry Lane.
Yes, Larry Lane. And Rick Snyder, our maintenance guy, kind of helped us get some answers to questions. One of the things we can do with the innovative controls is we can either get just the software update contract to just update that HVAC software, or we can go with the plan we already had, which is that plus inspections. That can be either 3-year or 5-year. So our questions to Larry and Rick and Felger Hart was, what is this company doing for us that you guys can't do? What would it cost for you to do it, et cetera? I contacted the software company directly to see if we could cut out the middleman and just get the software updates. We cannot. They don't do it that way. You have to go through a middleman is what I'm calling. I'm sure that's not what they call themselves, but that's what I'm calling them.
Provider.
Right?
Provider.
So that didn't work. Felger Hart tried to ask a couple other companies that they have worked with whether they could provide us with the same, and the answer was no, it's proprietary, which I'll get to again in a minute. So the answer is we probably have to stick with innovative controls, but we've at least negotiated a little bit better of a deal. So the decision now is just going to be kind of getting an answer from Felger Hart what they can do for us versus what innovative controls can do. So whether we know we want to go with just the software or one of the other packages, I guess. So that's what's going on there. But this leads me into my next thing. So we are due for our annual fire inspection again, and that is due before the end of April. One of the things that happened when Innovative Controls came out to do that 3rd year inspection was they went up in the roof and saw that the wires that go from the fire control system to the rooftop units are not plugged in. All 3 of them are not plugged in. They said that's either really bad or not bad at all. And I said, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And they said really bad because either nobody ever hooked it up and it's not working, or not bad at all because there are other ways that the fire control system could have been hooked up, and these were unnecessary wires, and that's why they're not hooked up. And I said, how do we find out? So that became an ordeal of calling multiple people, including the original company, which was Johnson Controls, Corson's, who's did our fire inspection last year. We were not particularly happy with the inspection from Corson's last year. They left without talking to us. They didn't tell us some of the things that needed fixed, and we had to kind of mumble through it and figure it out on our own. One of the things, if you remember, that needed fixed was they said they couldn't actually complete the inspection all the way because our fire panel was not programmed correctly, which we then had to pay Johnson Controls $2,000 to come and fix that. So after all these phone calls, the answer is Corson's believes that it's working just fine, but they only tested 5 out of 6 of the things they should have tested, which we didn't know until I made this phone call. They said the only way to tell for sure would to be have the Johnson Controls people and an HVAC company such as Felger Hart there at the same time. And so I said, well, we're due for our annual fire inspection anyhow, so can you give me a quote? And this is what I didn't get. So Corson's has sent us a quote, and theirs is, I think, $2,600, which is significantly more than last year. And when I talked to Johnson Controls, who I'm pretty sure is the one that has to be there anyhow to help us put the bottom line on this HVAC question, theirs is $916 cheaper as long as his manager approves what he quoted me on the phone. So that's what I didn't get back was the official, my manager approved this. I was hoping to have it for today and I don't have it. So in order to kill two birds with one stone, what I would like to do is, once I can get that quote, send it over for you guys to approve, have Johnson Controls do our fire inspection for the year, which we need no matter what, and at the same time, have Felger Hart come and make sure that we can put that other issue, like, to bed. Like, we know it's working, for sure, 100%, it's fine, and
Dumb question there.
sure, I might have an
These
answer.
might not be hooked up. Well, go into the control panel, see what sensors are installed and if they're operating. I don't understand how they don't know if 3 sensors aren't hooked up.
Correct, and that was my question to Corson, since they were the ones that came last year, and the answer was they tested 6, I'm gonna get this wrong, I should have brought the paper with me, they tested 6 something detectors, but only 5 duct detectors, which is what would have said. There is a form that says HVAC shut off, and I said, so that means it worked, correct? And the representative I talked to said, well, I can't say that for sure. And I'm like, I don't understand what you did when you were here if you cannot answer these questions for me. So we're kind of just wanting to have Johnson Controls come, get in, do what they need to do, get our annual inspection done, show us the whole thing's working, and make sure that we have it documented for the rest of time that it is correctly installed and we don't have any issues. That makes sense. I'm definitely not an expert on HVAC or fire systems, so doing my best.
I think you can put that on your resume now.
Yeah.
So I guess I can't actually ask you for it because I don't have, like I said, I didn't get the official quote back from Johnson Controls because he needed approval from somebody higher than him. But I just wanted to kind of explain what we've been going through and why we kind of want to get it taken care of, obviously, as soon as possible. And
We could approve the estimate, and if it's different, 916 is what he's saying?
no,
That's the
it's
difference.
$916 cheaper than
Oh,
Corson's.
916 cheaper than
What they've sent me,
And how
yeah.
much is it then? The
It is
estimate?
gonna be 1,700, hold on, give me just a second. $1,715.91.
So it needs done. We can approve it as, hey, if it's the estimate amount, and then if it changes significantly, then we can. It's up to you guys. but
Well, that makes sense. It's gotta be done.
It's
anyway.
gotta
I
be
mean,
done, as much as I
not-
can't stand that system. And when we build this new jail, we need to relook at what they're putting in it as far as automation and stuff, because some of the stuff is just getting out of control.
Right.
Especially if it's a simplex system. They quote me $2 or $3 grand for a display panel that's $400. I just makes my blood boil.
Yes, and so that's kind of with our fire system, that has been the answer we've gotten from everyone is that's proprietary.
Yeah.
And now that's where we're running into with this HVAC system as well, as
Yeah.
they're saying some of the parts that were installed plus the software is proprietary. So you really kind of have to go with either Innovative Controls or
Right.
another certified provider. That's what we decided to call them, so.
Okay, so real quick, the estimate was 1715,
Yes, 91 cents, I believe.
and that was from Felger and Hart.
No, that is from
Johnson
Johnson
Controls.
Controls
Johnson, okay.
for the fire inspection. And then, once we have a more solid answer from Felger Hart about what they can do for us versus what Innovative Controls is doing for us in the HVAC annual inspection, we can decide which of these 3 packages is the best option.
So we do need to hear from Felger Hart then too.
Yes, we're waiting for them to kind of tell us what they can come on site and do for us as far as inspecting like the rooftop units, the kitchen hood, a bunch of these different things that they're offering to do. We sat down with them to kind of get an idea of what Rick can do for us. He can change filters. He can do a lot of the stuff that they originally offered to do. And I was like, I think we have that covered. So after we sat down and talked with them, they were going to come up with a new list of what they will do that Rick or Larry cannot do for us.
Especially if it's software, they're
Right.
hire that out.
It's amazing how much money this saves us, but it doesn't save
Oh.
us because you gotta have these so-called experts come in and reprogram it And why does it have to be reprogrammed?
Yeah, why do you have to reprogram a heating and cooling system?
That's just, I'm just
Thought it
sitting here
would've been done
going,
right from the
it either
Well,
works or it don't work.
I think what it is it's connected into the internet, into the cloud, so it can, and so, well, we changed these servers, so this needs a software upgrade. Well, you change those servers so you can make money on the upgrade. You know what I'm saying? This
It's pretty good.
kind of like
back.
Windows XP. It still works great. They just, seriously though, it's like, oh, you need a new iPhone because it's too slow. And but in heating and cooling, Trane does the same thing. They will not sell a part to anyone other than they're authorized. And you pay 3 times.
Yeah.
That's why I won't install one. But same thing with this. We need to be careful on the jail bill to make sure
Yeah, we don't even want heat
we
boxes,
have more of this crap.
electric heat boxes for either.
We don't need Cadillac. Go ahead.
Sorry, Todd.
No, you're okay.
Do you want to have a consensus, or do you want to do a motion that Michelle can move forward with the best
Well,
pricing of the group with the knowledge that when she gets it, then I can just have you come sign them?
let's just do a consensus.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you can bring it and we'll look at it and sign it.
Yeah.
Have Andrew look
I
at
mean, the
it.
other thing we're probably gonna have to do is a transfer of some kind, because we definitely did not estimate this much money to cover the new contract, so.
That's fine.
So we do have a consensus, I take it.
Yeah.
That's a given.
So when she gets those, then she doesn't need to come back. I can just bring them for you guys to
Yeah,
sign,
that'd
correct?
be the thing to do.
Okay.
Okay,
So when you get whatever package you want, just send that to me.
okay. And you are gonna keep the change MOU for the council? to sign?
Yes. Yep, is that okay? Or do you want it with just commissioners? No, yeah, we'll keep it and I'll get it on the 10th of April. Thank you.
Thanks for writing herd on all of this, on
Fun
top
stuff,
of your
huh?
regular job.
I'm learning a lot.
Yeah.
Yes,
about
you are.
Building maintenance and things.
Maybe more than you need to learn,
Sure
Hey.
this is,
on top of everything else. you have.
Knowledge never hurts, right?
Yeah,
I'm sure
this
this
is true.
frustrating, though, trying to deal with all these.
It is, and I'm a very frugal person, so when I see these prices, I go, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me with this? And then I write emails, and Hallie's the same
Amazing,
way.
isn't
So
it?
she writes emails, and we're like, nope, try again, nope, try again. So,
We appreciate that.
Well, yeah, appreciate your conscientious
Yes.
stewardship.
Great, thank you.
all right, thanks.
Have a good day, good week. Okay, we got 10 minutes till pledge and break. Anybody have anything? This is your chance. Just jump right up in there and questions.
Fresh out of discussion material.
Ben was saying a little bit of extra trouble on 56 there with utilities needing moved now, and it's interesting how that'll get resolved. So, like one thing leads to another, you know? We also discussed the Mary Bridge, was concerned about the roof on
On the bridge.
the bridge. Ben's, well, yeah, it needs done, but we have other priorities of bridges that have to be used, but I asked Ben to see if a metal roof would be acceptable, because we're in that agreement for another 6 or 7 years on that grant. If not,
We've got 150,000
Yeah.
set aside for that.
yeah,
already, so-
yeah, we got 150 set, but it's probably not gonna be enough for a roof, in my opinion, on that bridge, just due to the extra labor
Of the, yeah, of the metal.
well, no, you got a tarp all under it, 'cause you can't even let a nail fall into that water. But there should be no reason that you couldn't put a lifetime metal roof on that thing that looks like shake. I mean, if they really want shake on there, I'm gonna say let the roof go. We'll tarp it if we have to until we can put a metal roof on it, because these shake roofs are good They should be good for 40 or 50 years, but ideally they last 25 to 35 years.
Well, if you treat them every couple of years with Thompson's water seal. or
Yeah, it
something,
helps.
then
Yeah.
Well, in the middle, well, yeah. That shake roof, a lot of old barns burned down from lightning.
Yeah.
yeah.
Them
oh,
shake roofs,
sure.
lightning hit them, boy, they was fire right now.
I mean, metal just is just, and it, from 50 foot, you can't tell the difference.
No.
No one's gonna be going, oh, that's not shake, it's,
Well, when you get closer than 50 feet, you can't see the roof anyway.
yeah, and I can't see more than 50 foot anyway, so it doesn't matter. But no, seriously though, it's, I really think that we ought to push for a metal roof regardless. Like I said, if we have
Oh,
to,
yeah.
tarp the damn
That's the
thing
only
until,
thing that's the only thing that makes sense.
because that'd be foolish to put another shake roof on that thing.
Yeah. I agree. Well, at some
And
point,
is gonna look into the.
Ben's gonna look into the feasibility of doing a metal roof. He's gonna
he's gonna,
send a letter, I guess.
does he have
It is
funds?
leaking.
Would that come out of the bridge fund?
I would have to think it's part of the bridge, yeah, it's bridge work, so it'd come out of the bridge fund. But the 150 we had set aside is
That was-
specifically for
yeah,
that bridge, for the
specifically,
roof,
It's
yeah.
in that
Yeah.
fund, so
We do have it segregated, it's just,
even if it's another 100, we just shifted
yeah.
a good chunk of money into bridges.
But you eventually want the water, because the water is gonna permeate and affect the rafters and, and like I said, even if you had
No,
to
you
tarp
got
it, do what you gotta do to preserve it, but I wouldn't be against putting another shake roof on
You would think they would have more objection to tarps on there than they putting a metal roof on,
there. Yeah.
just from optical.
Hopefully it's not a problem.
I'm thinking they should come around. I mean, and it's more environmentally friendly to have a metal roof. It just is. It's no maintenance, done. Get at least 50 years out of it, probably closer to 100. Yeah.
That's something we kind of, because that's been on my mind too, about that roof. At some point, we gotta do something there. So anyway,
Was mentioned a couple,
Yeah.
East Chapel.
I mean, we got a lot of money in that. We need to preserve it. But it's like Ben said, he said, got other projects and
there was a cross member underneath. I don't know if you remember, it. Mary Deal found it. It had pulled away
yeah.
from the coupling on the one side. Highway they did get that put back together.
They did get
Yeah,
it themselves?
yeah.
Okay, good.
Highway did that. Yes, mister.
Has there been any estimate wired that way? There, cost estimates of what I think the sheet would be?
Not yet, because we're waiting to see if they'd even consider a metal roof, and if they would, then we'll get the estimates then, but it didn't make sense to get the estimates until,
I believe we had an estimate about 3 years ago.
for shake though,
That was
wasn't it?
shake,
For
yeah.
shake, yeah,
Yeah.
but that wouldn't probably be good anymore.
Obviously not.
Yeah,
No, that was
that's a good
do-
question.
around
Well,
100,000.
it just seemed like it was.
That was around 100,000, I
Hard to
think.
have a
Yeah, at
whole lot of
least.
discussion than that.
Yeah.
It seems like it'd be pretty simple to get a quote, per square feet. You don't have any valleys, dormers, and things.
No.
You live on
Yeah, the big one is they have to put a huge net underneath and tarp to catch it, and I guess that's pretty labor intensive. I know when I did my roof in 2009, and things have changed then, but they both went up about the same. A metal roof ended up being cheaper
Yeah.
than the shake roof. And it was beautiful. It's today, gosh, that roof's 15 years old now and it looks brand new. So, but yeah, it's a good question to see what the quotes are. And obviously if one's a lot cheaper, you almost got to entertain that.
I don't,
as far as the three of things, that would be the same. Whichever roof. that you-
Whichever you do.
Care the old roof offered,
Yeah.
whatever that-
Yeah.
Parts that you would need.
Yeah, I'm just saying the overall cost is much higher just because of that. Have to work
well,
above
they
it.
had to put up safety railings and all kinds of, I
Yeah.
think, if I remember right.
Probably.
It was safety railings and, cost-wise, I don't think it would be a whole lot difference.
Yeah, like I
Them
said, my
shakes are not gonna
metal,
be cheap.
my metal was actually cheaper than what the
Yeah.
shake was gonna be.
I can
so-
believe
Those
that.
prices have come down a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes on labor-wise,
Yeah.
it's cheaper. The shakes are expensive.
Well, and there's less experts installing shake now than metal. It used to be the other way. The people that used to install shake, there's very few people that do it. But there's a lot of people that cut metal, and they're good at it. These guys come out and just bang,
Oh,
bang,
yeah,
bang. It's phenomenal.
Yeah,
Good question.
okay, let's take a break,
All right.
do the pledge.
Whose turn?
Did last.
So it's Bill's turn.
Turn. I don't think. Hey, everyone. Mic's on, and here we go, Dottie.
Oh, the clock's running even, so.
Yeah, it is. What you got today, Dottie?
Well, let's see. We have our wellness event scheduled for tomorrow from 6 a.m. until 11. We have 50 people signed up for it. That was very good. We would also be able to accommodate some walk-ins. You know, we'll just have to
is
do
there?
some paperwork.
Oh,
So, you know, pretty good.
I consider doing that,
Yeah.
actually. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So I will tell you, early morning, the 6 a.m., those slots filled in very quickly, of course. You know, especially if you come to work at 8 or 8:30 and you want to quickly get it done so that you can eat breakfast, you know, because it is a fasting. So, and I'll be honest, I don't have any clue. I don't think we have a lot of spouses coming in, so I think they're mostly employees. And I don't know about the add-ons, you know, the extra packages. I did talk to one employee, and they said they're just doing it all.
Really?
So, great. Well, they figured that it's cheaper to do it that way than you go to your doctor, ask him, hey, I want to do this, and then go to the hospital and get it done. Just do it all right here.
The reason why I asked that, I had my blood drawn the first time 6 months ago. I've never done it.
Oh,
And I got the bill in the mail, $932, because Solider did the complete.
Oh, okay.
You know what it
Yeah,
cost me?
What? Yay, good.
Through Surest.
Through
So,
Surest. All right, great.
Our
Yeah.
insurance gives you,
Yeah.
I don't know how many times a year you can do it. My wife's done it twice
Good.
now.
Good.
In 1
Good.
year. And so.
Some of those preventive things, they're
What was
it's
funny, it was
wonderful.
negotiated
Great.
down to $111.
Of course,
The bill was
yeah.
$932,
Yeah.
negotiated down to $111, but it cost me zero.
Unbelievable.
So I would
Great.
tell our employees,
Good, yeah.
if your doctor will prescribe
Yeah,
an authorization
Mm-hmm.
to have your blood work done, it's just office visit plus zero.
yep. But I will tell you, we have, and Morgan can guarantee, you know, can back me up on this because she already had an onboarding. I don't have a family physician.
Oh, okay.
You know, we have quite a few who do not even have
know
a family
that.
physician. You know, we just have maybe a couple who are veterans and they go to the VA. Okay, so that's, you know, that's all taken care of. But amazing how many people, when they're filling out their emergency contact form, and we do ask, you know, for their family physician, don't have one.
Really?
So if they have any issues, they'll go to the ER or to an urgent care center.
Wow.
So it's just, you know, no PCP. So that's why these things, if they don't have that primary care physician, is good. At least they're getting some information. They must want some information. Or maybe they're thinking, wow, I haven't been feeling really great lately. Maybe I need to find out what it is. So I don't know. Everybody has their own reason for doing it, but yeah, 50 signed up, so that's great. Yeah. This past week, we had an opportunity for our employees who currently have AFLAC products that they could have service on those policies. And at the present time, I have not received anything from our AFLAC rep to say that there were any changes done. And today's the day that he was supposed to get that to us. So it's very possible that nobody did. And then last week, we also had an afternoon with our Hoosier Start representative, and that's currently administered by Nationwide. It's through the auditor's office, and it's an extra, you know, it's a Roth, it's a, you know, a bit of a retirement plan. You know, when you think of retirement, three-legged stool, Social Security, you know, a pension from here, and then what else do you have? You know, and so that is administered through Nationwide, as I said, but through the state auditor's office. And so we did have 2 new enrollees, which was great. we opened it up to all of our employees. And then if anybody who currently has a Hoosier Start program that they could ask for, they can ask for advice at any point in time. They are really great about investment advice and looking at your portfolio to see, okay, what else do you need in there? And so that was a good meeting. One thing that I would like to schedule is our Boston Mutual, the life insurance person, probably in May, before we have any open enrollment time with our health plan. That might be a good time to have him come back in to talk to those individuals who would like a life insurance policy, and that we don't contribute anything to it. It's simply, a payroll deduction. It's a group thing, so they don't have to have a medical exam to get the life insurance. So let's see, what else we have? Oh, we have recruitment. And we have, good thing is, our probation office has selected a new officer for that alcohol treatment court. And that person is scheduled to start on the 8th, so on Total Eclipse Day. So that will be wonderful. They will really appreciate that because, the extra courts that the judges are putting in place, they really needed that other officer. I'm sure they need more, but they have that one. Sheriff's office always has confinement officers, although right now they are staffed, but they want to make sure that what they're trying is a little bit what Central Communications did. What we had tried to do was create a pool of people that, okay, we've already run you through everything, you've jumped through all of the hoops, and we don't have a spot right now. The next time we have a spot, we will call you. If you're available, great. If not, and we were talking to the jail administrator, or the jail commander last week, and what he's trying to do is contact these people, like, maybe once a month, to make sure you're still interested. And, you have a few people that, no, I went ahead and I got a job with something else, some other place. And so, but that's kind of what they're trying to do with their positions. Then we have Sunny Meadows. Sunny Meadows lost another part-timer last week, and we have already been recruiting for third shift weekender and then a second shift full-time. So we offered, and this time Angela has accepted our offer for Morgan to do some pre-screening phone interviews. So hopefully that will take something off of Angela's plate. I'd offered it before, and she thought she could do it. She thought she could do it. And, I get it. Believe me, I get it. Mm-hmm. And so this time she's, okay, that'd be great. So how many, do we have any scheduled? Okay, good. In person? Oh, phone interviews, okay.
Scheduled, Dottie?
I think two. That, some people don't answer their phones.
Yeah.
Hard to believe, yeah. So you leave a message and you hope for the best, so, yeah. Highway Department, we are still recruiting for a CDL driver and the mower. And Ben was at road school, so that kind of got put on hold, and we stopped down last week and had a chance to chat, and so he had some interviews scheduled, so hoping to hear back. So maybe, we never know. And then we have the prosecutor's office, that the deputy prosecutor, and then the victim assistance specialist position. So all of the resumes have gone to Neil. I did sort through them, and so he got the ones who were qualified so that he wouldn't have to spend his time going through them and sorting them out. And we kind of pre-screened them for him. So I know that he would like to get that deputy prosecutor position filled very quickly. The other one too. I just don't know how quickly that's going to happen with the caseload that they have and then trying to schedule interviews. And they have somebody in the office who has been, accepting them, and I think they're going through them, sorting through. So that is recruitment-wise, that's what we have. Do you guys have anything for me?
I do not. Gentlemen, anything for Dottie? We got a lot of time
Got
to kill.
time. See, did
By
you
the
notice
way,
I didn't
Dottie-
talk really fast? Like sometimes I have to because we're at a time crunch. So, yeah.
There we are.
I will say Morgan's coaching and her, this is the start of her third week. I know, time flies when you're having
That
fun.
was 2 weeks ago, right?
It was,
She
yeah,
started.
yeah. So, I don't know. She says it's going well. I think it's going well also.
Good.
We're trying to get out to all of the locations. We were out at Sunny Meadows, Central Communications, the Highway Department, and on that particular day, we stopped at the old highway department, and then I took her out to the new highway department so she would have an idea, Unfortunately, she never got to see the shower rooms at Sunny Meadows for that before and after. I'll tell you, those shower rooms look really nice, thanks to those donations and volunteers that put forth that effort. They very slick, very modern and clean, so much easier to clean and safer. That lip on the, yeah. It
And the
just-
rearrangement and more efficient, water-wise, heat-wise, closing off two of
Yep.
those windows that were just heat losses and
Yeah.
not needed in a shower. We still got a big window in both of those rooms.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I know.
it's,
So, yeah,
deal.
so that was good. I know, good to see that. Had a nice conversation with Angela about, staffing, what could we do differently? It just takes a special person to want to work there and to be successful when you are working out there. And that's what she's trying to do. And, she's just made so many positive changes out there. From the very first time that I went out there, that chapel was a mess, continued to be a mess, and now you can actually walk in there and you could actually do activities, which is wonderful. We didn't get down to the basement, but I'm sure from the last time I was there, the basement was far improved. The space and just how much cleaner it was. So that's great. We're trying to hit all the offices, as many as we possibly can, to introduce Morgan. So we will get them all eventually. Yeah.
Speaking of Sunny Meadows, we had some conversation about the residents doing volunteer chores voluntarily. I don't know exactly where that ended up at, but
Andrew lost it. As long as we weren't requiring it.
yeah, we're
Should be a
good.
problem.
Yeah,
So, I think that's something we should let them proceed with as soon as you can put something together, or Angela can put something together.
Yeah.
I think that everybody wins with that.
Great. Good.
Have something to do and be part of the community.
yeah. She could probably come up with a list of
Chores.
chores that
Yeah.
they could.
When you're a part of a family, you have chores.
Yeah.
And they feel that they are part of a family out there. So, yeah.
It has to be on a volunteer basis, whatever they want to,
Sure.
whatever they want to do.
Nothing dangerous, of
Yeah.
course, like
Right.
running a chainsaw or something like
Oh,
that.
yeah. Yeah, good idea. That's even scary if I see Larry Evan out there with, yeah. But, yeah, that's a great idea. Did one of you guys want to tell her, or you want me, or?
Well, I can call her.
Okay,
Stop down and see her. Sure.
I think it'd be fun.
okay.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Gives them something
yeah.
to do, too.
Yeah, yep. Since, yeah, I'm trying to think what else. Oh, yeah, another positive. 2 of our residents left Sunny Meadows and moved into their own apartment.
Wow,
Yeah,
That's pretty great, really.
good for them.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was in the newspaper article that Angie and I had.
Oh, that's, oh,
Yep,
yeah.
yep.
You know, and that's really sort of the mission or the long-range goal of Sunny Meadows anyway.
Right, yep, exactly.
The ones that are able to get them
Sure.
transitioned into self-sufficiency.
I know. So I was, yeah, and then, I had read that in the paper, and then Angela mentioned it. So that's just, yeah, fantastic. So let's see, I think that's about all that we discovered out at Sunny Meadows. One thing I would like to bring up, the last time when we were over at Development Services, the exercise equipment is all still in there. Yeah, I don't think we asked the sheriff or gave him a deadline to get that out.
Hold on, I said just-
Yeah, no, it's all still there. So,
I'll talk to him.
Probably should at least lock that room so that it can't be used.
yeah, yeah, that's another thing. One of my retired state patrol, highway patrol officers thinks he still has a key. So heaven only knows
How many?
who was given a key, how many keys may be out there
There's a
for
lot.
that room.
There's no reason we can't put a sign on the door that says that this is not
It's now
for use,
closed.
closed for any kind of workout use. And I mean, let's not,
Change the lock if we need to.
well,
That's-
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Let's not
Yep.
tempt fate here with
Yeah.
being lackadaisical about it. Let's
Anything else?
That's about it. We're, I'm coaching Morgan with all kinds of things. We had an onboarding this morning. We did have our new jail systems administrator started today, and so Morgan did most of that onboarding this morning. So Tom Winterroad is his name. And so he and Besa will be working together for a while. I understand from Jack that they will be having a meeting this afternoon over here, the whole systems department. So get to know everybody. That'll be great. And
Jack have a timeline for that transition.
yes, he does. What it is, I can't remember at the time. But with his retirement looming the end of the year, he has that all worked out. Hopefully, so that he can get Besa over here maybe June to really spend a lot more time with him. So, yeah, I know. And then we have the person who is in systems but headquartered out at Central Communications, will be retiring in November. So we have a lot of moving parts in that department. But Jack was really great about thinking ahead. We've been working on this for 2.5 years, especially when Jim Baxter gave his retirement notice, and now Jim's back part-time, just part-time. So we are supposed to have Apex in at 11 o'clock, and I don't know what else I have to say.
Anything else for Dottie?
Nothing.
Okay. I think we're good.
Okay,
At 11 o'clock.
well, good, okay.
Thanks, Dottie.
Are you adjourning? Or you still have more to talk about?
Oh, I got some discussion.
That's fine. I just want to make sure I didn't stop it.
Anything else, gentlemen? I've got one item I want to dig into a little bit. I've been informed or told that the designated channel for community corrections to Garrett is used very limited.
Central Communications. Central Communications.
Central Communications. The designated channel for Garrett is hardly being used. There's just not very many calls coming in. I mean, one example was there may not be a call for 8 to 10 hours coming in on that channel, but we've hired an extra guy to monitor that channel. And sometimes if somebody's off, they even have to bring somebody on overtime to monitor that channel. So do we really, what's the deal as far as why?
I think Garrett Police Force is not completely staffed right now because of all that going on, so I don't know if that's a fair assessment period. I mean, with what's actually
Skewed
going
a bit.
on. Yeah, I would suggest we give it a little time, just all sort out, get their force back to normal staffing and activity, and then maybe reevaluate.
Is that causing a budget problem for,
I think so. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, they had all that, that was already all part of the budget.
okay. Okay.
Garrett only have 2 officers, did I hear that?
No, I think they brought on another 1 or 2.
Did they?
As well.
I think as part of the day, though, they only have 1 officer on duty,
Really?
and that's when there's just nothing coming in.
The residents in Garrett. Okay, residents in Garrett.
5,000.
6,000, so
Yeah.
less than half the size of Auburn, but we have what, 20? Auburn, I think? So, sounds like they need quite a bit.
Well, but the county's doing most of the responding
Are they?
right now because of the situation with the prosecutor.
You won't take any cases presented by Garrett Police Department.
What?
Well, that's been going on
Basically.
for a long time. There were issues with that going back a number of years. So, you know, like I said,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
that's a-
different.
well, it's
I'm not saying who's right or wrong, I'm just saying that's a very odd situation.
there's a lot of backstory.
I'm sure there is.
Must be a lot of backstories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Very dysfunctional.
you know, I
Fixed.
think the mayor and the Garrett chief are working to address all those issues and trying to get all that straightened out. So I think we would be wise just to kind of let that sort itself out and see where we're at.
See where we're at. Okay. I just wondered
Yeah. Well, it's a good question.
what's going on there. Because there was a concern by an individual, but not to be named, of course.
Of course. But, yeah.
Anything else? Susan, you're awfully quiet over there. Are you done? Everybody done?
Done?
Yeah.
Well, let's adjourn then.
All right.
Just call this adjournment to this meeting.